Lower extremity strength.
That's a big topic.
So important.
So important.
And I don't think people realize that it will help you with balance, it'll help you with function, it'll help you with standing. And I think the story that comes to mind a while ago, oh gosh, it was a while ago, maybe 20 years ago, I was on a panel, that's like a day ago, with the director at the time of the National Institute on Aging, and with a woman who was a nurse who wrote the book Strong Women Stay Young, and it was the three of us, and we were talking about strength. And in the panel they said, if you could give people one exercise, what would it be? And today we're going to show you that exercise, but the point of it is it strengthens the lower extremity. And of all the things you do, it is the most important.
And still is. It's the most important. Yeah. It's the test of time.
So what we're going to do is, I mean, do you think you have good strength in your lower extremity? One way to know is to do a test. And this is called the sit to stand test. So I'm going to have Dana sit in the chair. And then what I'd love for you to do is, if you have a chair, preferably without arms,
join in.
I'm going to have you do sit to stands, and we're only going to do it for 30 seconds. All right, so you can do it with me, or if you just want to watch and do it on your own later, that's fine. But what I'm going to do is, when I say go, Dana's going to get up and down without using her arms. Now, there also is a test using your arms, so if you have to use your arms, go ahead. But the norms we're going to give you don't count for that test. But we'll talk about that in a second. So you ready, Dana?
Okay, and I'll count.
You'll count. Yes. I want you guys to count your own too. So all the way up and down is 1. Then same thing for 2.
Do I have to put my arms across my chest, or just not use my hands?
Well, just not use your hands, but it's better here because people think they're not using their hands and they press. Okay. So this way I know you're not using your arms. Okay. On your mark, get set, go. 2, 3. Count out loud.
4.
Good.
5.
And you might want to move the chair against the wall
7,
so it doesn't move.
8.
Right,
I hope
I'm kind of holding it.
9.
Keep going.
10.
30 seconds is a
11.
long time.
12.
Keep going.
13. 14.
You're doing great.
15. 16. 17. How much longer?
Stop.
18.
Okay.
So 17.
17. And here's the thing: if you're on your way up, you don't count it. If you're on your way down, you do count it. You were on your way up.
Yes.
So you scored 17.
17.
Okay. So the norms for women are, and I picked the younger age group, are 15. So you did 17.
Good. So I passed.
For men, for women it's 15. For men it's 17.
Okay.
All right. So if you couldn't do that, you probably have, some weakness somewhere. It could be your quads, these muscles here, could be your gluteals, all right? But we're going to show you some things to do to make it stronger. So go ahead.
Yeah, so I think just using the sit to stand as an exercise, why not do that to strengthen your legs? Everybody can sit down on a chair, and you can modify it so easily by either using your arms or starting in a higher chair, or even like putting a pillow or something to raise you up a little bit underneath your butt before you stand, just to give yourself a little elevation.
And it's surprising how adding something just like this pillow can make it so much easier. If that was hard, just doing something like that makes it so much easier.
And then you can grade it down so you can challenge yourself as you get stronger. And I try to encourage raising the seat rather than using your hands, if you can do that first. If you still need to use your hands, that's fine. But if you can just raise your seat up a little bit and go from there, I think that's more efficient in leg strengthening. So that's going to be the exercise.
And how would you make it harder?
Yeah, so sit to stand, just a regular one like we've done. Good question. Now to make it harder, you can bias one leg at a time. So you can put one leg behind you a little and one in front. And the one in front's really just there for balance. And you're really focusing on the one that's behind you. And that's going to bias one leg over the other.
And didn't you call it a kickstand? I thought you
I like you kickstand your leg out. So it's like your little kickstand for balance there. But it's not really doing anything.
It's harder.
It makes a big difference. And then you can also pick up if one side's weaker than the other, and you can focus in on that side a little bit more. So that's one way to make it harder. The other way is, really challenging, is just doing a total one leg sit to stand. So lift your other leg up, and I would say this is the most advanced level, up and down with control. If you can do that, that is excellent. You can go from lower surfaces too. The one thing about that is it's a little bit hard on your knees, maybe to get too low.
And I don't think you have to go that.
I agree. I really love the kickstand, the staggered stance, and then trying a couple by challenging yourself, going one leg up and one leg down. So that's probably my favorite way to really start strengthening your legs in a very functional way.
And you do it, how much would you do?
You know, if you're, I would say 10 repetitions on each leg biasing, or if you're doing both legs together, work towards 20 repetitions. And I would still try to keep a little rhythm to it so it's not a slow up, sit, rest. You kind of want to go one after another, so you're working that strength and muscular endurance as well. And then the other thing I like to do, if you know your knees can be a little achy, sometimes strengthening this way all the time can be hard, so a wall sit is a great alternative. So I love doing that, especially if you have a little discomfort in your knees, or it's just as an alternative. So I'm going to back into a wall here and show you how to do that. So for the wall sit, you're going to bring your feet out a decent distance from the wall. Weight is going to go a little bit more into your heels, and you want your knees to stay forward so they're not collapsing in or rolling out. And then you can go down and sit and hold. So you're avoiding that repetitive up and down motion that can cause repetitive irritation on your knees. So from here, you're just going to sit, press your feet into the ground, press yourself into the wall, and I feel my thigh muscles, my quadriceps light up and turn on. I can really feel them engaging here. And you can vary the height. You don't even have to go down very far to start getting your muscles to work in this position. So I love this. You can sit, you can start holding for 10 to 20 seconds at a level that is comfortable for you. 3 or 4 repetitions if you're doing a longer hold on these, and it's a little bit easier on your knees, or just as an alternative, and you really will get a nice amount of quadricep strengthening with this. So I don't know if you use the wall sit too.
No, I do. I don't both. I think you should only do one.
Good point. One or the other. Right. I agree. And then when you're working strengthening, I think like 3 times a week on some of these exercises.
And that's important because you can do certain exercises every day, and some you need to give your muscles a break so they can rebuild. So this is one of the ones that you probably shouldn't do every day.
I agree. All right, so try one of those, and those are your exercises for aging well.